Hello, it's me, Julian Greystoke. I am out here in my bower with chickens nearby, birdies chirping. Yes, I know I look like a pirate, and that is because my hair is in a really transitional state right now, and rather than having you stare at how dorky my hair is for this entire video, I have decided to just cover it up and go for the pirate look today. I also have a fan because it is very hot out today. It is so warm, oh my goodness. With hot tea. Of the bookish variety, because we are here to pick our next read-along book. Yes, I know, I have heard you are eager for it. Now just as a heads up, just to let you know, this read-along might not come out as quickly as many of us would like, including myself. That is because I am probably going to have to pick up a part-time job to help supplement my freelancing career. If you don't care about that, you're just here for the read-along stuff, just know the read-along is coming, but it might not be coming as fast as you would love and I would love. But let's not worry about that stuff. Let's talk about what books we have to vote for today. I will put on the screen 2 weeks from now, voting will be ended, so this date on the screen. But what can you vote for, my friends? Let's find out. So the first one on the list, you all probably saw it coming, and I'm definitely interested to check it out for myself because I've been hearing mildly mixed things and I've been trying to stay away from spoilers, and that is Fourth Wing, which has dragons in it, and I love dragons. I'm a dragon girly, so let's see how good it is. It has a 4.69 rating on Goodreads. That is so good. It is beloved. Best I can tell, just with minimal research, is that it is mostly beloved by TikTok, and YouTube, BookTube is less certain about its greatness. So I think there's a lot of potential there for us to see whether it lives up to the hype or whether maybe it's not as good as the TikTok girlies would have us believe. Because TikTok does skew younger, and so maybe it's just having more success with a younger audience. But as you all know, I am an old, so what will I think of it? Let us use my laptop here to read the blurb. By the way, if you hear a humming, buzzing noise, that is a hummingbird hanging around here. It's not a giant bee. I'm not in danger. Just a cute little hummingbird. There's a hummingbird feeder, like, right up there, so. 20-year-old Violet Sorengale, I bet she's 20 so that she can have sex in this book. Bet that's why. Was supposed to enter the Scribe Quadrant. That is hard to say. Living a quiet life among books and history. Now, the commanding general, also known as her tough-as Talon's mother, has ordered Violet to join the hundreds of candidates striving to become the elite of Nevers, dragon riders. But when you're smaller than everyone else and your body is brittle, death is only a heartbeat away. I did hear that there is Own Voices disability rep in this book, so that's exciting. I would love to see that, and we will not be making fun of that aspect, but we can make fun of many others, I'm sure. Because dragons don't bond with fragile humans. They incinerate them. With fewer dragons willing to bond with cadets, most would kill Violet to better their own chances of success. The rest would kill her just for being her mother's daughter. Of course, we have to have everybody against the main character. And Xaden Ryerson, the most powerful and ruthless wing leader in the Riders Quadrant. She'll need every edge her wits can give her just to see the next sunrise. Yet with every day that passes, the war outside grows more deadly. The kingdom's protective wards are failing, and the death toll continues to rise. Even worse, Violet begins to suspect that leadership is hiding a terrible secret. Friends, enemies, lovers, everyone at the Basquiath War College has an agenda. Because once you enter, there are only two ways out: graduate or die. You know, am I the only one getting a little bit sick of these, like, death schools where the stakes are just, like, punched up to 11 million? It's like, we can't just have a cool magical dragon school. Everybody has to be trying to kill you there. Like, can't we figure out some kind of interpersonal stakes besides everyone wants you dead? Is that just me? I don't know. The Fourth Wing, that's the first one that you can vote for. Oh, how do you vote? I suppose I should have led with that. How do you vote? Very simple. You just go in the comments and you pick the book that you want to read. If you put more than one book, I'm just going to pick the one that you mentioned first. So But here's the kicker. If you want your vote to count for 2 votes, you can become a patron at any level over on my Patreon and then comment there, and your vote will count for 2. Patrons have held huge sway in past votes, so if you feel really strongly about one of these books, feel free to become a patron. Even at the dollar level gets you the vote to count for 2. Plus, there's all kinds of other cool patron rewards over there, so like I feel like it's worth it to stay once you become a patron. What's the next book though? Another one that has been very popular. It's been making the rounds on TikTok and has been making the rounds on YouTube, and that is Verity by Colleen Hoover. Yes, I am willing to read a Colleen Hoover book for you. Specifically that one because it just sounds like my kind of bonkers. I do know a little bit more about that one. Let's go ahead and read the blurb, shall we? Lowen Ashley is a struggling writer on the brink of financial ruin when she accepts the job offer of a lifetime. Jeremy Crawford, husband of the best-selling author Verity Crawford, has hired Lowen to complete the remaining books in the successful series his injured wife is unable to finish. Lowen arrives at the Crawford home ready to sort through years of Verity's notes and outlines, hoping to find enough of the material to get her started. What Lowen doesn't expect to uncover in the chaotic office is an unfinished autobiography Verity never intended anyone to read. So a diary? If it's an autobiography no one was supposed to read, that's called a diary. You're not supposed to read people's diaries, Lowen. Page after page of bone-chilling admissions, including Verity's recollection of what really happened the day her daughter died. Lowen decides to keep the manuscript hidden from Jeremy, knowing its contents would devastate the already grieving father. But as Lowen's feelings for Jeremy begin to intensify, she recognizes all the ways she could benefit if he were to read his wife's words. After all, no matter how devoted Jeremy is to his injured wife, a truth this horrifying would make it impossible for him to continue loving her. Alright, so that's the bonkers levels. One of the reasons I'm kind of interested in this is that I've heard that Colleen Hoover is a pantser, and I've heard, like, sort of through the grapevine interviews, her saying that when she gets bored of a scene, she just stops writing it and just moves on to the next thing and doesn't really take the time to like make sure that her books flow. So I'm interested to see like what a pantser at her level, what somebody who is like so popular that they don't have to worry about editing because people will eat up whatever they write. I want to see what that looks like. Because if I tried to write that chaotically, it would not go well. Next on the list, we have the oft-requested sequel to The Night and Its Moon, The Sun and Its Shade. I was very hesitant to put this on here for a couple of reasons. The first one is I really did not like the first book and just kind of didn't want to have to read more of it, but people have been requesting it. The other reason is that the author, from my understanding, has been back on her bullshit. Remember how we talked about at the beginning that she was harassing reviewers and she was sending other people to harass reviewers, and then she apologized and stopped, and I was like, okay, I take your apology at face value, you learned a lesson, don't do it again. Except she seems to be doing it again with sock accounts or sicking her friends on people. This is all alleged. This is alleged. So just keep that in mind. Like, I don't have proof. I'm not following her around, like studying everything she does. There's just evidence to kind of show that she's still on her bullshit about anybody who doesn't like her books. And for a smaller channel like me, her sicking her massive fans on me could be bad, which is why I've been hesitant to read this. But you know what? I'm a big old ham, and enough people tell me that they want to see me read this. I gotta put it on here and see if people vote for it anyway. By the way, speaking of which, I am going to be very, very soon, I promise, hopefully gonna be filming it tomorrow, be filming a read-along of at least one of the novellas that go with The Night and Its Moon for my patrons. That will be a patron-exclusive video, so that's another reason to go ahead and become a patron at any level. You get access to exclusive videos not seen here on the regular channel, and that is gonna be one of them. I also have something from Lightlark over there, so check that out if you're interested. I will be filming that very soon, I promise. Patrons know I've been promising them this for a little while, but I finally got my hands on it, on one of them, so that's the start. Alright, anyway, The Sun and Its Shade, what's the blurb? I love you. Nox's tear-filled words echo across the sand as she and Amaris are torn apart. They've battled fiercely to find each other again. Have they? Have they? And have barely reunited when Amaris is taken away by the Queen's dragon. It makes it sound like the dragon did it, but she jumped on that dragon's back. That was her choice. Injured and desperate, Amaris is forced to navigate her new surroundings with the help of Raskot's enigmatic general if she hopes to stay alive. At the same time, across the land and running out of options, Nox forms a partnership with the continent's League of Peacekeeping Assassins. Oh goody, more of these guys. Begging their help to find Amaris and forge some stability between the kingdoms. I cannot tell you how much I do not care about the politics of these two kingdoms. It is the most bare-bone politics ever, and I'm still like, can't be arsed. As wounds heal and new relationships blossom, which, like, from what I've heard of this book, I'm pretty sure that the author got bored of her own ship almost immediately. Like, she has these two girls set up to be, like, fated lovers, and then keeps them apart at every possible opportunity, and gives them other romantic interests to fall for. It's just like, tell me you got bored of your own ship without telling me you got bored of your own ship. Nox and Amaris must confront impossible obstacles and stretch their magic to its limits if they are ever to create a world that might finally reunite them for good. Do they care if they're reunited for good? Really? On the page, do they? We'll find out, I guess. The odds are narrow, the stakes are high, and one question remains. Just one question? Is it fate, love, or something else entirely that binds these two women together? I'm gonna say it's the author's contrivances that binds them together. She's still trying to get all the pats on the back for being a queer author. Like, calm down. We are everywhere. You're not special, Piper. Piper redefines love and trust through an authentic, fantastical portrayal of queer experiences. Bitch, please. You could go ahead and say that about my books, about so many authors' books who are queer and writing queer fantasy. Like, I'm sorry. I am like, not, my sympathy for Piper has pretty much gone out the window since she's still harassing reviewers. So like, I'm sorry, Piper, you're not special. Maybe that sounds bitchy, but it is. And finally, the last book on the list is one that I brought over from the previous vote. I don't know if this one will get any traction, but I like to have 4 books, so we have some options here. And that would be From Blood and Ash, which does remain popular, I believe, on TikTok, but maybe not as popular as some of these other ones. I will, of course, be reading the blurb again, just to remind us all what it's about. A maiden chosen from birth to usher in a new era, Poppy's life has never been her own. The life of the maiden is solitary, never to be touched, never to be looked upon, never to be spoken to, never to experience pleasure. Waiting for the day of her ascension, she would rather be with the guards, fighting back the evil that took her family, than preparing to be found worthy by the gods. But the choice has never been hers. A duty. The entire kingdom's future rests on Poppy's shoulders, something she's not even quite sure she wants for herself. Because a maiden has a heart, and a soul, and a longing, and when Hawk, a golden-eyed guard honor-bound to ensure her ascension, enters her life, destiny and duty become tangled with desire and need. We've seen this a million times, but that's okay. He incites her anger, makes her question everything she believes in, and tempts her with the forbidden. The forbidden is probably his dick. A kingdom. Forsaken by the gods and feared by mortals, a fallen kingdom is rising once more, determined to take back what they believe is theirs through violence and vengeance. I mean, if they're a fallen kingdom, like, who conquered them? And are we certain that they are not rightfully vengeful? Is what I'm saying. And as the shadow of those cursed draws closer, the line between what is forbidden and what is right becomes blurred. Poppy is not only on the verge of losing her heart and being found unworthy by the gods, but also her life and every blood-soaked thread that holds her world together begin to unravel. So there you go. Those are the books you can vote for. Once again, just to remind you, Fourth Wing, Verity by Colleen Hoover, The Sun and Its Shade, or From Blood and Ash. Comment below and let me know which book you are voting for me to read, and then at the deadline, I will make a video telling us which one 1. And then I will begin reading it. However, as I mentioned, progress may be slower than we would like because of life things getting in the way. Summer is always a really busy time for me. I'm trying to run my own business. I probably have to pick up a part-time job to supplement that business. So I have a lot going on. I'm sorry. I wish I could get it out to you faster, but I'm doing my best. I'm just one person. However, if you do want to help me become financially independent, then you can support me on Patreon, as previously mentioned. Or if you don't like Patreon and you just want to drop a one-time tip for me, I do have a Ko-fi for that. And if you'd like to hire me to become your developmental editor, if you like these read-alongs and you want me to do this kind of thing to your book, but obviously like in private and just for you, then you can hire me as a developmental editor over on Fiverr. Your first 5K words are only $25 if you just want to see if we would be a good fit. If you want to get an idea of my style and you want to see if we would mesh well, just $25, your first 5K words. I can also critique your blurb. I offer coaching sessions if you want to chat about your book or your ideas. We can talk about anything bookish and writerly you want anywhere in your process. Whether you just want to brainstorm beforehand, whether you've hit a snag and don't know where to go next, whether you're about to publish, we can talk about anything. But that's enough for today. I've got a lot of stuff to do. It is hot out here, so I will say farewell. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see all of you again next time with whatever it is I happen to be doing next time. Bye!
Where are you off to? Don't stop, I'm already late! Late for what? I'm going on an adventure!
Lots of things in life are an adventure, like being my patron. Patrons like Sarah M., Kat, 78 kilograms of shade, I think. Veda, Ingrid, Roma, Pansing Pony, Julius the Nice Dragon, Haley, Sam, Kira, Kohikaru, Mooney, Maria, Kristen, Bear, Jojo Bookish, Lauren, Robin, Ursula, Caitlin, KJ, LaFone, Amanda, Celia, Alyssa, Rita, Deborah, Afra, Melissa, Swamp Goblin Waifu, Sophia, Merween, Kit, Hidden Glade, Light Julie, Belle Sterling, Patrick, Anne Sophie, Callison, Ray, Shelby, Zaire, Jesper, Rennie, Scribbling Cat, Savvy, Jenny, Amanda, Lisa, and Sarah.
Everything appears to be in order. Welcome, Master Baggins.